Good Sunday morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee along with my colleague John North. I'm John Becker and we are moderating a discussion today about a survey you responded to. John, this was impressive. More than 900 people responded to a short 3-minute survey about their priorities for the legislative session. If we could go back to that first word cloud quickly, I just want to show some of the results of this survey and what you stood out and didn't stand out. Look, gun, that's part of the biggest part of your response. Mental health. We also saw people, John. This dovetails into some of the conversations you've had with people who filled out the survey online.
I would say the survey was pretty revealing about what folks out there are thinking about what should be done in the state of Tennessee. We formed them in another version, if you will, what we just showed you a minute ago, in terms of importance, what's kind of important, what's not so important. Top of mind was protecting democracy, and that was right there. And we've got somebody who addressed that. We want you to listen to that right off the top of the bat.
I would not want my children to treat people the way that our state legislature was treating its members last year. I feel like it's important to listen, to let everyone have a chance to speak. Having a supermajority, it's easy maybe to be kind of a bully. And you know, that's kind of trickling down too into Tennessee has really terrible voting participation, and it feels like now things are sort of happening that might make it even harder to vote.
Okay, so protecting democracy received the most votes for what's most important to you who's filled out our survey. Again, this isn't scientific. These are WBIR viewers, but you see, most important, 62% protecting democracy. That is a pretty broad statement, but let's talk our panel with them about what you said about this survey. Don Bosch, Democrat, and longtime runs his own law firm in Knoxville.
Good morning.
Good morning. Susan Richardson Williams is a Republican. She runs her own PR firm.
Good morning.
Good morning. Always good to have both of you. So we're going to run through this survey because there are a number of topics just to see whether our viewers are in step or out of step with what lawmakers are doing. Susan, your reaction to what she said about protecting democracy?
Well, I think we all want to keep our democratic system, constitutional republic, and so forth. And I think our legislators totally understand that. I think where the concern is coming is from federal elections, to be honest. There's so much on the media now. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, we're being besieged with talk about that. And then you get into the civility question. People don't believe that we're being civil to each other anymore. And we see that, frankly, in our state and in our nation. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and there was a time when Democrats and Republicans worked well together. We're not seeing that so much now. And we do have a supermajority in our General Assembly. We've talked about that many times. And so I think you tend to lose some of the civility when you have a supermajority because you can vote, you
do what you want.
You can pass anything.
Right, as John has said many times.
Yeah.
Democrats don't even need to show up.
Yeah, but I think a lot of this concern that people are seeing on your survey comes from what we're seeing in the federal picture.
Certainly, I'm not going to disagree with the federal component that Susan's mentioned, but I listened to all four of these people, and I listened to their interviews in their entirety, and they clearly were referencing what happened also in our state house, in our state capitol, and the lack of civility, the lack of decorum, the stripping of voting rights, the stripping of personal rights, really begins to feel like that democracy is escaping and that a small cadre of largely older white men are running our state the way they want to. Clearly, the message I took from them on all of these questions, and these folks kind of ran, best I could tell, the political, philosophical spectrum. All of them felt like, hey, we're losing the democracy that we knew, that our parents knew, that our grandparents fought for, maybe even in World War II.
One of the things that struck me not only in speaking with several of them, somebody else,
And John, by the way, you did a great job interviewing these
well,
folks.
thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks to them for taking. Alyssa Stoney talked to one of them. I talked to 3 of those folks. They were all very eloquent. They're all watching. They are all paying attention.
They're engaged.
They're engaged. They were paying attention last year. They're paying attention right now. Some of them watch this program, which is encouraging to us because we care about the issues we present. And they've taken note. And in some respects, they said, you know, sometimes we sit at home and wonder if the legislature's going this way and we're going this way.
To that point, I just want to bring up the Vanderbilt University poll that we saw in December, and it said that the Tennessee legislature is adopting positions that differ considerably from the opinion of most registered voters, including Republicans in Tennessee. In fact, it also shows what you were referencing, Susan. The overall effect of this discrepancy is reflected in the historically low level of approval for the state legislature. Since achieving a 10-year high approval rating in May of 2020, so not that long ago, the approval of the state legislature has fallen by 18 percentage points. It stood at just 42% in this poll. Again, this was Vanderbilt University in December. We're going to talk more about these issues that John North conducted interviews with, one of our producers, Alyssa Stoney, as well. We're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee and then talk more about school vouchers and education when we come back.